Hey, welcome to our show. I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm the host of the Money Fit MD show. This is where we talk about all things money and mindset because I truly believe that when we pair these two things together, it is pretty much impossible for us to not create wealth. So I hope you enjoy the show. Make sure you learn, make sure you take actions, and make sure you share the link to the show with all the humans in your life so that we can all start to build wealth together from the inside out. Enjoy this episode.
Hello, guys. Do you want a sabbatical? Have you ever considered doing a sabbatical? Why or why not? We're going to talk about that today. Welcome, guys. I'm so excited that we are here today. Welcome to our podcast, the Money Feed MD podcast or show. If you're watching on YouTube, it's a show. If you're listening on the podcast, it's a podcast. And if you're wondering what's going on with Latifat, I'm a touch of cray cray. Oh my goodness. How are you guys doing? I am excited to be here. As you can hear, it's always a joy getting to spend time with you guys. It truly is. I love being in your ears. I love that you choose to be here with me. Like literally, of all the places you could be in the world, you chose to be here. I'm so grateful for that. If you're new to my world, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for listening. And my goal here is to serve you. My entire goal is to create a new generation of wealthy women physicians that are living life on their terms, that have their own identity, practicing medicine on their terms, and not letting themselves be defined by anything at all external to them. What am I talking about today? Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I am taking a year-long sabbatical with my family. I think I've mentioned that in some episodes already, depending on when you're listening to all these episodes. However, it's not something that I have sat down to do an episode for you guys on. And I do think that it's important because I've been getting a lot of questions about the sabbatical. Why are you doing it? What are you doing? Is your work allowing you to do it? And all this other stuff. So I figured since I love you guys, well, naturally, the people that I love the most are those in my program, the Money Fit MD Money School for Badass Women Physicians. And so if you're not there, go to my website, moneyfitmd.com. Go to the very top, work with me, schedule a call with our team member. Let us hook you up, right? So those are my loves. I still love y'all, but whatever. You get my point. You know how nobody has like a favorite kid? Yeah, I do. Those are my favorite kids and are my kids. These are like badass women physicians that are running the world, by the way. But anyway, so I did a session with them because they were asking as well, like how can they schedule their life, their money, and all that stuff to be able to do this. So I gave a talk to them, and I'm excited about what these women are going to be doing over the next year. Because if you want it, why not? Right. So, why am I taking a sabbatical? I've gotten lots of questions. This is not something that's on any bucket list that I had, which I don't even have or never had bucket lists. But this was not. This is something that I literally decided last year, early fall slash late summer. My husband and I said it would be nice to do it. And we felt like this is what our spirit wanted. We felt like God was like, yes, let's do this. And so we're doing it. And so we're traveling with our kids. We're going for about 12 months or so. We're going to, I believe, 15 countries. We may add some extra ones to that. But the goal is to just be present, live life, take a break from the biggest hassles in our lives and just be present, feed ourselves spiritually. And we are now in month 2 of our sabbatical. And how has it been? Amazing. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. It has been way better than I even imagined it was ever going to be. I thought it would be great. I thought it would be good, but my mind is already like blown crazily. I have been able to have time with my kids, which I've never had this much time with them, which has been amazing. We started in New York slash New Jersey, and we got to see people, our friends and loves that we hadn't seen in years. We used to live in New York. So we got to do that. We got to really feed our soul and see. We didn't even honestly, I don't think we realized how many loves we had in on that part of town, but we did. We got to hang out with our friends. We spent some night with in I think upstate New York, just feeding our souls and just having this why not experience. Like why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? So family, just amazing. But what it's also been great to, apart from time with family, but also just time by myself, time alone to just pray, to read my Bible, to walk, to think about how I want to serve women physicians in this time of my life, to decide and think about what medicine is going to look like for me starting in next year, because I do love medicine. I love medicine. I miss my patients. It's truly, I do miss them a lot. I miss my colleagues. I miss the familiarity of what I'm great at with my hands. And I do miss that quite a bit, to be honest with you. But the with everything in life, there's pros and cons, right? There's risk benefit assessment, but the joy and the things that I've already gotten back, even in 2 months, has been way, way, way bigger than the price that I paid, because there's a price to everything. But some of the things that I was thinking about is, so why, Latifa, like why a sabbatical? And I kind of broke it down into really simple things. Like number one, because I wanted to. Like let that sit right there. I did not take a sabbatical because I hated my job. And if you do, nothing wrong with that. But I think a lot of times people think that the only reason to take a sabbatical is because you're burnt down to char. And that's not the case. I believe that sabbatical can be a preventative thing where you pace yourself. And in fact, if you look at where the word sabbatical and Sabbath came from, it's back in like in the Bible, they would talk about once every 7 years, like people would take a break from farming the land so that the land could like refuel, reduce, just like rejuvenate so that it can now be ready to last another 7 years. So interestingly and coincidentally, I've been in practice for 7 years now. So it almost feels like it's happening like that. But the key is because I want it to. The key is so that I could refresh myself, right? So that I could reset and decide for myself what are the things that are important to my life. What are those things? How do I want to give up my time of my life? Because we all are here on this earth. We don't have forever and ever to be here. And so with the time that I have here, how do I want to serve my world? How do I want to serve my community? How do I want to serve my women? How do I want to serve my patients? How do I want to serve my family? What is that going to look like? And a lot of times when we're so busy grinding, we don't have the time, or we're not taking the time to answer that question. And then the last part is to be present with myself, to be present with my family, to be present with my kids. And just, life is potentially short. I hope it's not. I pray it's not. However, why not? They're not going to be young forever. So I get to enjoy this time with them, which I'm really grateful for. So those are the simple reasons why I decided. But then the question now becomes like, why don't more people take a sabbatical? Like, why is it such a foreign thing for physicians to do a sabbatical? And honestly, I think it's really because number one is most people don't even know that that's something they can do. Because a lot of times when people work as physicians and they sign up to work for someone else, the question is, oh, do they offer a sabbatical? If the answer is no, that means I don't get a sabbatical. And that's not the case. That's what I opt out for. My life is mine and nobody else. And I've always had the mindset, even as an employed physician, that I own my life, I own my brand, I own my brain, I own my excellence, and I get to list that out to anybody else that I choose to. So whether that is directly to my patients, if I was to start a private practice, or whether that is to a larger organization if I was working as part of a larger organization, but nobody owns me. I own myself. And I think that if every employed physician and every physician understands that, it is going to create a freedom for us to know that we own ourselves. Nobody owns our voice. Nobody owns our life. We can sign contracts that are ethical. We're not going to sign stupid contracts, but we own our life. So I think a lot of times people don't even have examples or know that it's an option for them, right? The other reason I think is because of the golden handcuffs. We can call it the golden handcuffs, which is where you're working for someone or a place that is decided the things that are of value to them. They're making you content enough that you stay, but in exchange for that is you're exchanging with your thoughts about not being free, right? So people would say things like, oh, pension plan, golden handcuff, healthcare insurance, golden handcuff, and all this other stuff. And these are all thoughts, to be honest with you. These are thoughts that I had to separate from in order to be able to create my life of freedom. And so, in fact, when I talk to people about sabbatical, I explain that even being on sabbatical is 80% mindset, your relationship, your thoughts, right? 80%, and then 20% numbers. right? And I'm going to dig into those numbers a little bit because I honestly believe that if you want a sabbatical, you should take a sabbatical. If you want it, you can have it. It's not going to happen automatically. You get to make it happen. And if it does not happen, it's either because you don't want it or you haven't made it happen. So if you want it, then I want to make sure that you have the tool sets that you need to be able to create it. I went into super more details with my women. And for those of you guys that are going to be joining us, let me know. I'm happy to share the replay with you. It's in our coaching container that you get access to. I can share it with you. I answered lots of questions. I told everything, like every single thing that I cannot share on the podcast. So if you want all the super juicy details, definitely that's a place to get it. However, I will give you some stuff right now that I think could be helpful for you. So first of all is deciding that you want it. And honestly, people say things like 3 months. 3 months is the absolute minimum. And honestly, I don't even think 3 months is enough, but 3 months is the absolute minimum. But you can take longer. You can take 6 months, you can take 12 months. And the question that I want you to ask yourself is, if you don't think it's possible right now, what are the reasons why you think it's not possible? So write those down because it's going to be different for different people. But when you write down the reasons why you think it's not possible, then you know what you're starting from and what is a fact versus what is a thought that you need to address, right? So how much time do I want to take? Why do I think it's possible or not possible for me right now? So I can write that down. So write that down because those are things you're going to need to address in order to be able to do what you want. The other question that I want you to ask yourself is like, what would you want to go? And this part is important because it directly correlates with how much money you're going to spend. There's some countries that may be cheaper to live in. There's some countries that may not be as cheap to live in. So if you have specific countries and the amount that you'll be spending there would be important. If you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter what country, I just want to take some time off, whether that's even within the US, you can take a sabbatical within the US, or whether I want to travel international, that is important because that's going to affect how much you may need to have in order to be able to take the sabbatical. Okay. The other next thing now is now from the financial perspective of it, which is where a lot of people get stuck. So I will tell you the programs that we have inside of our money school, depending on when you're listening to this, some of them may not be available. But the three areas that we target is, number one is, if your debt is a reason why you think you cannot do what you want to do, then that's an area that you need to work from, right? So number one is, if it's debt, then having a plan and having freedom mindset wise from debt. So not all debt are created equal for sure. Debt from liabilities is different from debt from assets, right? But what we have inside of our money community, actually, and this is a standalone thing that you can sign up for. I have a course that is about freedom from debt that you can actually access. You can go on my website, moneyfitmd.com, and you can go to Debt to Wealth Accelerator, click on that, and you can sign up even right now. This is a course that is worth multiple four figures, but because of the specific people that I want to help with that, I have it priced at $4.99 for now. And what happens is when you sign up, you're going to get access to this mini course, which is a 4 week course. You get it dripped once a week so that you can learn the material, you can do the worksheet, and 4 weeks from now, you will have a very personal plan for yourself that is going to help you be free from debt. So that's the number one reason why you may not be achieving what you want to achieve when it comes to being able to take a break and do a sabbatical. If that's it, I want you to be free. So go on my website right now and click on there. It's $4.99. You get it. And there's accountability as well. You're going to be getting prompts from us via your email so that we can make sure that you actually do the work that you're supposed to do. So go on there and get that right now. That is number one. If that is a reason, then that is what you want. That's what you need. Number two thing is, for some of you guys, you're like, it is money, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck, meaning that, yes, my income is good. I'm grateful for it, or maybe it can be optimized, but I feel like I don't have all the money that I could have. And so the idea of taking a sabbatical just feels hard, right? You need my course. You 100% in my course, because what I did there is I created this course, which is a 8 weeks money curriculum that is one of a kind. And what it does is, like, it walks you through all the things that you need to have a strong foundation when it comes to your finances, right? This particular thing is part of our 12 months program and is kind of like what you get as part of the first trimester in our program. So if you're like, Latifat, I want to learn the foundation of money. I want to be a money CEO. I want to be able to take a sabbatical. I want that for you too. But if your finances is not where you could be right now, where it could be, then that means that you could benefit from being a part of our community. So that's the number two thing that you may be struggling with. The number three thing is, Latifat, I'm good. I have money, but I know that I need to invest my money. I know that you keep talking about women and ownership and how we need to own assets. And I need that. I want the knowledge, I want the community, and I want the network so that I don't have to go into the wild, wild west to figure out what to invest with, but I can talk to people that you maybe know, people that are in your community, and you can also help me learn how I can expedite my path to wealth, to creating the life that I want. If you are one of those two people, meaning the option B and option C, this is what we do inside our coaching programs. And so I want you to go on my website, moneyfitmd.com, click work with me, schedule a call with my team member, and they're going to help you figure out like where are you and where are you trying to go. That way we want to make sure that we can serve you in our community, because it's not for everybody. It's for women physicians that are committed to living life on their own terms, that want to build wealth, that want to create positive changes in the world, that do not want to live a life of apologizing forever, that do not want to look back at their lives 5 years from now and go, oh my goodness, I wish I got my stuff together, I wish I had invested, I wish I had taken your course, I wish I had embodied all the stuff you talk about when it comes to true wealth creation and living a life of freedom, because that is what we do there. It's 12 months program. I honestly, I don't think there's a program like this that exists, because we really go in, you get the knowledge, you get the coaching, you get the community, and my women are amazing. They're super diverse. They lead things in the world. They're changing the world, and it's an honor to be in their midst. Some of them have been here for about like 2 years now, and the things that they're doing, they are diversifying their income source, they're paying off their debt, they're buying assets, they are working less, they are starting their own businesses, they are creating their own wealthy life in a way that is true to them. And that is what we do there. And honestly, the things that I've covered in those is literally the things that women need to get their finances to be able to take a sabbatical. And it's possible for you. Yes, you have to know what your money is going. Yes, you have to know what your minimum viable expenses. Yes, you want to know where to have your money liquid so that you can have it for the things that you want to do with it. It requires creating a plan to an extent, right? Getting things done right now so that you can create the future that you want. That is what it's about. And not everybody is going to want to take a sabbatical. And of those that want a sabbatical, not everybody is going to think they're going to be able to take a sabbatical. But if you want it, if you want to not let life today be the reason why you don't live the life you want tomorrow, we would love to have you. Come check us out. But that is how we do it. It takes figuring out those three parts that I just talked about: the debt, the making sure that you're creating more money than days in the month, and diversifying your income source, building assets so that even when you're traveling, you have money making money for you. Because literally, that's how we did it. And now I tell people, if y'all know me, you know that I don't depend on any one source. So whatever money we're making right now, whether it's from Money Fit MD, whether it's from my husband's, work that he's doing some little bit of IT work, those are to prepare for our future. Those are to take care of things later, because we've set the stage even before we decided we wanted a sabbatical so that we would be well taken care of. So I want you to do this work. Listen to this as many times as you need to. Take the notes to figure out what is standing between you and what you want. And for you, figure out which one of those three areas you fall when it comes to the finances, and creating the finances that you want in order to be able to take a sabbatical. And the last thing I want to say is this, guys. People do this stuff even outside of medicine, right? People do this. People backpack and do it minimally in terms of like expense or cost. We want it to be comfortable, and you may want to be comfortable too. And you can create that path for yourself. There are other ways you can also get access to money. I do not recommend them for the non-savvy, untrained, mindset-wise people, but you can access your assets. If you have like money in a taxable account, you can access that. In general, I don't recommend withdrawing from your 401k, but there are times and seasons where that may not be a bad idea, as long as you know and have a plan on how you're going to refuel, right? Some people may choose to do like a HELOC, but again, you need to figure out how you're going to make that money back for yourself if you don't already have that money created, right? So the key is this: if you're like Latifat, I need to just go, money is not a reason why you should not do what you want to do. We can help you create a plan that makes sense. We can help you create a future where your finances is able to support that. That is something that you can strategically do, invest passively, diversify. If you want a side gig or not side gig, right? You can do that. Those are things that we can help you with. However, if you don't want to do that, if you're like, Latifah, I need it right now, those very not recommended ways that I just talked about with like borrowing from your future self could be an option, because if you're well, that is also a gift to your future self. So what do y'all think about this episode? I hope it was helpful to you. Don't forget, share this with other women physicians. Share this on your Instagram, share it on your Facebook, and feel free to tag me so that I can give you a shout out. And to all of you guys that have left us a review, you guys are the VIP. I love you guys so, so much, because my job, my goal this season is I want more women physicians to live a life that is liberated, a life of true freedom, where we know that we own our body, we own our voice, we own our future, we own our skills, we own assets. Like that is the role of the woman. That's what we do. We are badass. And that is what we're creating here. So, if we can be of service, let us know. moneyfitmd.com/start. Schedule a call. We got you. All right. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.